September 28, 2025, a day that redefined Australia's place in the world. In a stunning move, Australia announced it would pivot toward the east, strengthening ties with BRICS and using the Chinese yuan for major trade. This isn't just policy, it's a seismic shift for a nation long allied with the West. The world is asking, why now? What does this mean for Australians? And how will it reshape global power? Some hail it as a bold step to secure Australia's future in a changing Asia-Pacific. Others see a risky gamble that could strain old alliances. This is more than headlines, it's a new chapter for Australia, with real impacts for businesses, workers, and families. As the world holds its breath, Australia's journey eastward begins. To fully grasp Australia's recent strategic moves, we first need to delve into the concept of BRICS. BRICS originally began as a coalition of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These were emerging economies that sought to have a more significant influence in global affairs, challenging the dominance of Western powers. Over time, the bloc has expanded its reach and influence, now including Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE. Together, these nations represent a substantial portion of the world's population and economic output, making BRICS a formidable force on the global stage. In a bid to further assert their independence, BRICS established their own development bank. This institution serves as a counterbalance to Western-led financial entities like the IMF and World Bank, providing an alternative source of funding for development projects. So, why would Australia, traditionally aligned with Western nations, seek closer ties with BRICS? The answer lies in a combination of economic necessity and geographical proximity. China, a key member of BRICS, is Australia's largest trading partner. It imports vast quantities of Australian resources such as iron ore and coal, which are crucial to its industrial growth. Aligning with BRICS is a pragmatic move for Australia. It allows the nation to secure its economic interests, diversify its trade relationships, and reduce dependency on traditional Western markets. This strategic alignment is not about abandoning old allies, but rather about forging new partnerships. It ensures that Australia's voice remains influential in a rapidly changing global landscape. For Australia, this decision is about staying relevant and protected in a new global order. It's a calculated move to maintain its standing and influence in international affairs. As Australia steps into this expanded circle, the world watches closely, eager to see how this new chapter in international relations unfolds. For over 75 years, the US dollar has dominated global trade. This gave America immense power, but reliance on the dollar has made many nations uneasy, especially when sanctions are used as leverage. Enter de-dollarization, countries seeking alternatives to reduce risk and gain independence. BRICS leads this movement, trading more in local currencies and building new payment systems. Australia's embrace of the yuan fits this trend, making trade with China smoother and less dollar-dependent. The dollar's reign isn't over, but the ground is shifting. More countries want a plan B, and the yuan is rising as a serious contender. Australia's move is a clear sign of this new financial reality. On September 28, 2025, Australia and China announced a landmark deal that could reshape the future of trade in the Asia-Pacific region. After years of negotiations and careful diplomacy, both nations have agreed to take a bold step forward in their economic partnership. Starting in 2026, a major share of Australia's iron ore exports to China, the world's largest steel producer, will be settled in Chinese yuan, rather than the traditional US dollar. This move marks a significant shift in how two of the world's largest trading partners conduct business, and it's expected to have ripple effects across global markets. But this is just the beginning. Over the next 5 years, both countries plan to expand the use of yuan to cover other key commodities including coal and liquefied natural gas. This gradual rollout is designed to ensure stability and build confidence among exporters, importers, and financial institutions on both sides. To support this transition, the Reserve Bank of Australia will significantly increase its holdings of yuan in its foreign currency reserves. This move signals a deep and lasting commitment to the new arrangement, and it's a clear message to markets that Australia is serious about diversifying its currency exposure. The deal follows months of diplomatic warming and behind-the-scenes preparation by Australia's mining giants, such as Rio Tinto and BHP. These companies have worked closely with both governments to ensure a smooth transition, updating contracts, payment systems, and risk management strategies to accommodate the new currency regime. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese described the agreement as a practical and forward-looking decision, for a modern Australia. He emphasized that settling trade in yuan will give Australian exporters more flexibility, reduce transaction costs, and help shield them from the unpredictable swings of the US dollar. The government has been careful to frame this move as an economic, not a political decision. Officials stress that the primary goal is to cut costs for Australian businesses and protect them from currency volatility, rather than to make a geopolitical statement. The initial target is ambitious. 20% of Australia's iron ore trade with China, valued at around $30 billion Australian dollars each year, will be settled in yuan. This represents a significant portion of Australia's export earnings and could set a precedent for other sectors. To ensure smooth transactions, the central banks of both countries have established a direct currency swap line. This arrangement will allow businesses to exchange Australian dollars for yuan quickly and efficiently, reducing reliance on third-party currencies and minimizing exchange rate risks. This isn't just a symbolic gesture. Behind the scenes, both governments and private sector partners are investing heavily in new financial infrastructure, digital payment systems, and logistics networks to support the shift. The goal is to make cross-border trade faster, cheaper, and more resilient. Australia is betting big on the yuan, and the world is watching closely. As this bold experiment unfolds, it could inspire other countries to rethink their own trade and currency strategies, potentially reshaping the global economic landscape for years to come. The world's response was immediate and telling. Beijing celebrated, calling it a win-win and a milestone for the yuan's global rise. In Washington, concern simmered beneath diplomatic statements. Australia's move complicates the Indo-Pacific landscape. US allies like Japan and South Korea stayed silent, watching closely. BRICS nations and developing countries cheered, seeing Australia's shift as validation of their own efforts to move beyond the dollar. In Europe, surprise and analysis dominated as financial centers recalculated the global currency map. The consensus: Australia's decision is part of a larger, unstoppable trend. Economic power is shifting east. The world is adjusting to a new reality. For everyday Australians, this pivot could mean real change. Exporters may see more stable profits and jobs, with less risk from currency swings. But deeper economic ties to China bring new vulnerabilities. If China's economy stumbles, Australia could feel the shock. Importers from the US and Europe may face new complexities. Some fear a loss of sovereignty or pressure to compromise on values. The US alliance, a cornerstone of security, will be tested. Diplomacy will be crucial. Australia must now balance old loyalties with new realities. If managed well, this could usher in prosperity. If not, instability and tough choices await. The stakes are high, and the path forward is uncertain. Australia stands at a crossroads with opportunity and risk in equal measure. Australia's move is a symbol of a global power shift. The old model, with the US at the center, is breaking down. Every trade deal in yuan chips away at the dollar's dominance and boosts China's ambitions. If other US allies follow, the impact could be profound. New alliances may form, old ones may weaken. The US must rethink its Indo-Pacific strategy and offer more to keep allies close. The world could split into competing blocs, each with its own rules and currencies. For many, this brings both risk and opportunity, more voices at the table, but more complexity and competition. Australia hasn't created this new world, but it's revealed the map. The future is multipolar, and the rules are being rewritten. What do the experts say? As Australia's economic landscape shifts, the world's leading minds are weighing in, offering a range of perspectives on what this means for the nation and the global order. Dr. Evelyn Reed, economist. With a third of exports going to China, trading in yuan is just smart business. It's a practical move that reflects the reality of Australia's trade flows and the growing influence of China in the region. It's about reducing costs and risk. By settling deals in yuan, Australian companies can avoid currency fluctuations and streamline transactions, making trade more efficient and predictable. Dr. Marcus Thorne, geopolitical analyst. This is a high-stakes gamble. While the economic logic is clear, the political implications are far more complex. Economics and politics can't be separated. Australia must reassure the US this isn't a strategic realignment. The US remains a key ally, and any perception of shifting loyalties could have serious diplomatic consequences. Professor Kenji Tanaka, Tokyo University. Asia is watching. Every move Australia makes is being closely observed by its neighbors and trading partners. If Australia manages this balance, it could be a model for others. Successfully navigating between major powers could set a precedent for other countries facing similar dilemmas in the region. If not, it's a warning. A misstep could lead to economic instability or strained relationships, serving as a cautionary tale for nations considering similar paths. Gabriela Santos, BRICS consultant. For BRICS, Australia's move is validation. It signals that the world is moving toward a more diversified and multipolar economic system, where no single currency or power dominates. It shows our vision of a multipolar world is becoming reality. Countries are seeking new alliances and new ways of doing business, challenging the old order and creating opportunities for innovation and growth. The consensus: there's no easy answer. Experts agree that while the potential rewards are significant, the path forward is filled with uncertainty and potential pitfalls. The benefits are clear, but so are the risks. Australia stands to gain from increased trade and influence, but must also navigate the dangers of over-reliance and geopolitical tension. Australia is a test case for the world. Can a Western nation thrive by straddling East and West? The answer will have implications far beyond its own borders, potentially reshaping alliances and economic strategies worldwide. The stakes are high for the entire Indo-Pacific. Regional stability, security, and prosperity may hinge on how well Australia manages this delicate balancing act. The world is learning from Australia's bold experiment. Policymakers, business leaders, and citizens everywhere are watching closely, eager to see what lessons emerge from this unprecedented move. The outcome will shape global strategy for years to come. Whether Australia succeeds or stumbles, its experience will inform the decisions of nations navigating an increasingly complex and interconnected world. Australia has turned a new page and the world is watching. Embracing BRICS and the Yuan is a bold, risky move that reflects the shifting global order. The immediate path is set, but the long-term consequences are unknown. Will Australia thrive in a multipolar world or get caught between giants? The choices made now will echo for generations. This is just the beginning of a global transformation. Stay tuned, stay informed, and join the conversation. History is unfolding before our eyes. The future is being built now, and every voice matters.